restroom? I grew up in a family where water was the primary drink of choice. Occasionally, my mom would throw in a packet of Crystal Light for me and my sister, but our friends always knew they'd never find any soda in our refrigerator. Nevertheless, we were taught at a young age that drinking water was necessary for creating good habits and maintaining our health. It seemed to be the first line of treatment for any of our ailments. If we had a headache, my mom would say, drink more water. A stomach ache, more water. A temperature, definitely more water. Water is not only vital in our lives, it is necessary for every life form that exists. It could be said that in some ways, water is more critical to us than air. Scientists are eagerly searching other planets for water, and if it can be found, it could answer the question of whether or not life exists elsewhere. In the exploration of our solar system, water becomes an important theme and a vital resource. NASA's catchphrase, "Follow the water," has become their strategy in the search for life on Mars, as well as Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. In recent years, NASA has uncovered clues supporting the possibility that water exists below the dry surface on Mars and the icy surfaces of 3 large Jupiter moons. Now, what makes the circumstances on Earth so well suited to supporting life versus other planets? Scientists say that a critical factor is the amount of water Earth has. The proportion of water relative to land is ideal, and the fact that Earth's liquid water does not freeze or dry up like that on Mars and Venus, likely due to its ideal distance from the sun, provides an environment that can support life in perpetuity. Also, Earth's moon helps stabilize our planet's rotation, preventing severe shifts of the poles that could otherwise cause enormous changes in the climate. Lastly, our moon is responsible for Earth's shifting tides, another factor in the stabilization of the Earth's presence on the face of the planet, ocean's presence. For these reasons, scientists believe it was a near perfect place for early life to start. Water is ever present on our planet. It is a dynamic medium and can continually change its states between a solid, liquid, and a gas phase depending upon the conditions. Each phase in the cycle plays a critical function for the various beings on our planet. Perhaps most notable is water's function as the primary oxygen source for our sea life. Approximately 75% of Earth's surface is covered by oceans, which represent 97.2% of Earth's total water volume. Another 2.15% is in the form of ice, and the remaining 0.001% is in our atmosphere in the form of water vapor. Only a very small percentage of this is the water we can access for cooking, drinking, and many other purposes. Usable water sources consist of streams, lakes, rivers, marshes, and underground aquifers, and add up to 0.65% of our planet's total water. As important as this small percentage is to sustaining life for the land-dwelling creatures of the planet, including humans, the vast majority, our ocean water, is a critical heat reservoir and serves to stabilize the planet's climate. Water does this in a simple but invaluable way by absorbing heat from the sun in the summer and releasing it in the winter. For example, day and night temperatures fluctuate less by the oceans, but much more in the deserts where there is very little water. Liquid water also acts as a transport medium for nutrients and other life-sustaining compounds. It has also been called the universal solvent, as it can dissolve many different kinds of substances. All life needs to consume various substances to generate energy and flush out unnecessary waste products. Water is an ideal medium for both tasks. Water is essential for sustaining human life. The body can last weeks without food, but only a few days without water. Nearly all of the major systems in your body depend upon water. The average adult human body is made up of 50 to 75% of water, while the percentage in infants is much higher, at 75 to 78%. We see how much water makes up the various organs on our body. The brain consists of 75%, blood at 83, the heart 79, bones 22, muscles 76, liver 86, and the kidneys at 83%. Water helps nearly every part of the human body function. It maintains the health and integrity of every cell in the body. It keeps the bloodstream liquid enough to maintain flow through the blood vessels. It helps to eliminate the byproducts of the body's metabolism, excess electrolytes, and urea, which is formed through the processing of dietary protein. Water regulates body temperature through sweating. It moistens mucous membranes, such as those of the lungs and mouth, lubricates and cushions joints. Water reduces the risk of cystitis by keeping the bladder clear of bacteria. It aids in digestion and prevents constipation. It moisturizes the skin to maintain its texture and appearance. It carries the nutrients and oxygen to the cells. And it serves as a shock absorber inside the eyes, spinal cord, and in the amniotic sac surrounding a fetus during pregnancy. Water, as you can see, is fundamental to humans, as well as all other living organisms in our world. And for life's activities, hydration is crucial for performance. Without access to water, athletes would hinder their ability to perform and slow or weaken them relative to their competitors. For example, assume you're about to run the 1 mile race at a track meet. You're very confident in your ability to outpace anyone else, but you haven't had a thing to drink besides the cup of juice you enjoyed with your breakfast. Early in the race, you may feel competitive, but eventually even an average runner who is well hydrated might easily pass you. Physiologically, if dehydrated, you may feel dizzy or lightheaded and experience muscle cramps, headaches, and nausea. And this can occur in average temperatures of approximately 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, imagine it's hot, around 90 degrees hot. This scenario can become even more dangerous. In these conditions, a person will start to experience symptoms of heat-related illnesses. A heat cramp is a type of muscle spasm that results from a large amount of salt and water loss. This can transition to heat exhaustion, which can cause confusion, dizziness, painful headaches, and debilitating fatigue. After all that, heat stroke is possible. This can give you a throbbing headache, cessation of sweating, rapid, uncontrolled breathing, and your heart can feel like it's beating out of your chest. It's also likely that you will throw up a lot. In sports, if you're not adequately hydrated, you are pretty much done. To stay adequately hydrated for sports before practice, top off with 16 to 20 ounces 2 hours before you practice. During practice, drink 6 to 8 ounces of water for every 20 minutes of activity. After practice, replenish each pound lost during activity with 20 to 24 ounces. For all these reasons, water is extremely precious to us. It is an absolute necessity. So it is probably fortunate that we could never run out of usable water, right? Or could we? With so much of the entire globe covered in water, shouldn't it be impossible to run out? Well, yeah, it is nearly impossible to completely run out of water on Earth. Although, however, it is very possible to run out of usable water on Earth. Although, over 70% of the Earth's surface is covered by bodies of water, only 3% of that is considered to be fresh water. And if that percentage doesn't sound particularly low, the majority of that is water we can't even access. And the rest, let's remember, exists in the atmosphere, in our soil, or frozen solid in the North Arctic regions and the Antarctic continent. Only 0.4% of all water found on Earth is water that we can access and use. And so the question is, over time, can this relatively small volume of water get smaller? Can our usable resources become depleted until we are forced to utilize water found in the oceans and in the ice caps? Some scientists say absolutely, yes. The threat of global warming has put our most finite reserves of usable fresh water at risk. Increasing average temperatures cause drought conditions, which loses water to the atmosphere. This increases the utilization of, in some cases, inefficient global irrigation systems to save the world's agricultural resources. Combine that with the increasing needs of a world population, which is skyrocketing, and you have a recipe for disaster. If we are unable to keep up with these trends, we are in serious trouble. This is why we need to conserve water in every possible way. We must each try to make small, essential strides for this important cause. For example, easy measures such as turning the water faucet off while brushing your teeth and shaving are shown to save up to 3 gallons per day. Every minute that we spend in the shower uses an additional 5 gallons of water. Lessen your shower times. It can save you time and money. Also, check for leaks, as these can waste tremendous amounts of water under our very noses, while also contributing to your high water bill. Little contributions by all of us add up to movements that could, one day, save the planet we care about. All in all, I think it can be argued water is truly the most precious substance on our planet. Drink it, use it, enjoy it, but most of all, respect it and save it for all of our sakes. Thank you.